Welcome to our Trade to Developer podcast. My name is Suzanne Elsey.
My name is Craig Shields, and we've often been asked to share how we've transitioned from trade to developer. We're now ready to reveal all.
So in this podcast, we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about delegating and how to structure your team, because obviously you've gone through a few changes recently with your team.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be really good to touch upon that a bit more, because I think sometimes some of the trade guys seem to have a little bit of an issue on how to bring people up.
Yeah, and I also think there's that element of people knowing how you want things done, if that makes it right. So like just going out there and hiring a site manager or hiring a general ops manager or anything that's going to be in the management level of your company, I think it's quite difficult, especially when you've already got a team in place. I've got a team of 18 of us, between 18 and 20 with some part-times here and there. But to bring in someone that's above any of them is a bit of an ego thing, and they're like, who's he talking to? Who's he telling? I've been here for ages doing this. So it is very difficult to do that. And I have done it. It does work. And I think integrating them into the company is a way of doing it, like slowly but surely, get them to know them and stuff like that, because it is a culture thing. You've got to get the culture right. But one of the biggest things that I've also done, well, everything that we've done, any of the business that we've grown, I've done organically. And I do strongly believe that your team that you've worked with for over quite a few years move up. In particular, there's two guys that work for me. Grant, who is he was a plasterer by trade, general builder, worked alongside me doing extensions and refurbs, and we used to do it together. And it's always used to be a laugh of who could get to site the quickest and rush up the road. And Grant used to jump out the van and pretend he was there before me, and knowing that the site was tidy, and we got the same values, we've got the same morals, me and him, who like to get done, if that makes sense. And that's why we get on really well. But he knows exactly how I work, and for him to move into being a site manager was just a no-brainer for me. And I think it wasn't for him. He was a bit unsure, but then he realised that he needed to step up. He's been doing it for long enough, and his leadership is spot on. But the problem is sometimes, and with myself, when I move myself into off the tools to on the tools to off the tools, I don't do admin. Dyslexic, struggle with. I hate anything in the office, but obviously it comes part and parcel with it. And coming a site manager, it comes part and parcel with health and safety, filling in site notes, keeping up to date with records, delivering notes, you name it. It all falls on a site manager. And I think a lot of people will say, oh, I don't mind doing that job, but I just don't want all the paperwork side of it. So I spoke to my VA that I use and said, look, I'd like you to do these extra roles for the guys. And she just said, look, I think you should employ someone separate to do this. So it's separate to what I do, because I already do a lot for you. And plus I work with a system you already work with, someone fresh coming in that's actually, I'm not construction based. It'd be good to have someone construction based to work with them. So we interviewed two or three of them. And one of them actually was health and safety background, and worked on construction sites, and it just fitted really well. So my guys, my site managers, because I've got a few site managers and a contracts manager, we use WhatsApp. It's just easy, site notes each day of what's happened today. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the things that we wasn't doing, and when we look back, it's like, what happened on that day? I don't know what happened. Don't know what happened this week. Don't know, there's so much going on. So just a little note each day to the VA saying the guys are doing rip out on floor 2, and chimneys have come down, and waste got collected, and plasterboard delivery from Juicens today. Delivery notes were all on the system. Sorted. We wasn't doing that before.
It's taken us 7 years to make the transition from working with clients through to developing our own portfolio, and we can speed that up for you. If any of this resonates, please do register now and we can help you transition yourself from trade to developer in just 12 months.
I know that sounds stupid, but it's conversation. Building control comes today and he said that we could do this, this and this. Could you back up an email? And just saying it out loud actually makes you feel gives you other things to do. And then who's on site? Obviously, I track my guys, but things fail and not everything's 100% proof. So we back it up with Jim, Dave, and whoever else is on site today, and 3 bricklayers and 2 plasterers from whoever we're using. And just so we got a record of it. And some of them are the dry liners have gone home at 2:00 today. And then if anything does come back to us, we got it basically. So they did it all on voice note, no writing down. Delivery notes, they tick off, they take a photo, they send it to them. Health and safety, we've also got printouts and laminated sheets for our guys to basically do risk assessment method statements on site. So they walk around on site, there's nothing better than doing it in practice. And they do it all on a voice note. There's a template, each section, most of it filled in because we obviously do it at the beginning of the job, so they've got to do their other bits. It makes it really easy for them. So, but like moving people through your company, there's not always the best fit in certain areas. But I think if you can give them support, which I have done, I think it's really good. And I think also we've got one guy at the moment, and so he used to work on your projects.
Yeah, he was a labourer, wasn't he? He used to be sweeping up every time I turned up.
Caleb was a labourer for me, and we were doing bathroom refurbishment for you. And I used to get him to hoover the stairs every single day. Even if there was nothing to do, I was like, hoover the stairs, be clean and tidy. You can't be more clean and tidy, but in someone's house. And he knows how tidy I like the sites. And he knows he's like gets frustrated with the guys on site when it is messy and says Craig's going to go mad when he walks in here. But he's potentially will move up because he knows the way I want it done. So, and without a doubt, he won't be an admin person. I know that for a fact now. But if I've got it in place that I can help them, don't get me wrong, there might be some emailing to do and stuff like that with their phone, or chasing up with people. But the VA can do their emails from us voice note. So I've actually put the support in for them because their strengths are on site, hands on, getting done. And that's what I want them to do. I don't want them sitting down at a desk filtering through a load of paperwork. I'm not doing it myself, so why would I get them to do it? So so I think definitely people in your team, and I have brought people in from the outside to work with, and it's getting the right culture. We've got to do the interview right, but it just takes a little bit more time to get that right. But if you've got someone in your team you can look at and pinpoint and say, right, they've been in every single day, they never let me down, there's no excuse, they haven't got a headache all of a sudden at 10 to 6 in the morning, they're literally not letdowns for you, and you can offer them more than and give them some self-confidence of what they do, because they are great guys and they don't want to be stuck on the tools, but they don't want to take on a business. So obviously where there's risk involved, what I've done, they don't want to do. So I definitely think looking into your team and sitting down and having a chat, some of them might be good at admin, great, but then do you want them sitting there at a desk? So probably not. So I want them getting.
Well, it would be a different price point, wouldn't it, if they're sitting at a desk versus
that's right
the site.
That's right. That's it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, looking into your team and hiring throughout your team, and I have told the some of the guys, yeah, I've earmarked you for moving into management level, and their faces light up. And I said, but you got to get this and this done first. He's going to get a shadow grant, like see what he's doing, because he likes it the way I'm doing it. And they're like, yeah. And I've got another guy that works for me as a carpenter. He's definitely got managerial skills, but he's not prepared to do it just yet. He wants to enjoy his carpentry. But in years to come, he'll definitely be part of the team. And I think it's the same thing with a football team. And it's like your youth academy. You build up your youth academy, and they come through, and they don't. They don't cost you a lot of money for training them because they're trained already for their inside the business, and they come through and then they produce the goods at the end. So thank you all for listening, and thank you all for your support, and please subscribe to the upcoming podcasts.
Just remember the famous quote from Henry Ford: if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got.